Dr. Cosmas Maduka is a Nigerian business magnate and philanthropist, the founder, president, and chairman of the Coscharis Group. Coscharis Group is a conglomerate with a net worth of about $800 million with several subsidiaries, including agri and agro-allied business sectors, auto care and auto components, automobile sales and services, ICT and manufacturing. Coscharis Motors is the leading distributor of several brands of luxury cars and is the sole distributor of BMW in Nigeria. Dr. Cosmas Maduka sits on the board of several reputable companies and organizations. You're welcome to the program Operation Feed the Nation. This program is aimed at sensitizing the general public on the need to participate in agricultural practices. This is to ensure self-sufficiency in food production. With me today on the program is a Nigerian business magnate, the founder and president of Coscharis Group, Dr. Cosmas Maduka. I am your host, Hattie Nkoyo. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Hattie. It's a pleasure to be on your program.
Thank you, sir. Could you just give us a brief description of yourself and what you do, sir?
Very simple. My name is Cosmas Maduka. My vernacular name means man is not God. I hail from Anambra State of Nigeria, but was born in Plateau State in 1958 on December 24 to one Mrs. Roserine and Peter Maduka. So I run and head the operation of Coscharis Group as the CEO and chairman of the organization.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm here particularly because I know you're a farm entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what inspired you to become a farmer? And I hear you farm rice, so why rice?
Yes. What inspired me to get into agriculture is very simple. Our organization is purposeful-driven organization. Okay. We are not just set out to make money. Making money is important, but I found out that in real life, most purposeful-driven organizations have become much more successful than profit-oriented organizations. If purpose is your driving force, when you fulfill purpose, you will be rewarded with financial resources and benefits. But if money is your main focus, you may get frustrated along the way. We didn't start with agriculture. I started business in 1976 after working for my uncle for close to 6 years, and he gave me 200 naira to start my own business. Of course, by this time, I've met the Lord Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior and made commitment to him. So that set me apart from my peers, because by 15 years, I was thinking 50. I was talking like a 50 years old man. By 14, I was thinking 40. When you become a Christian, it sets you apart from your contemporary. You have clear sense of purpose, the reason for existence, and that becomes your vision and driving force. So I happen to be one of those who caught it early, made it early in my life. For what may not be very obvious to a lot of people, people like me believe an end-time prophet God sent in our generation called William Branham, who told us that 86% of successful people became between the age of 12 and 25. So that you make yourself when you are young. And they ask a question, do the people make it at 40, 60, 70? It's obviously they do. But just like in a form of a pyramid, it gets narrow and smaller. But the base force, 86%. That means if we are 100%, 86 of us will make it between this age bracket, because this is age where you can make mistake in trying to discover yourself. But the rest 14% had to take a chance between the age of that 25 to maybe 70 or 85. A famous billionaire at 66 or 70 was the man that found Kentucky Fried Chicken after writing his suicide mission at the age of 65. And something asked him, is there anything you are good at? He said, but I can fry chicken. And he went to his kitchen and started frying chicken and started distributing it to people. Before he became 88, he became billionaire. But that was almost too late. But he made it. Yeah. It's not like you can't make it after you cross 30, but it get narrow and smaller. By 16, 17, 18, you can somersault. You can swing yourself around and, be able to move. But by 26, 28, I advise a lot of people, please don't try to somersault. You haven't done it before because you have a spinal cord injury. Yeah. So the earlier people caught on in life and begin to apply themselves to success, following principle, and really have a clear sense of vision and desire to succeed, the better. So I happen to be one of them. By 15, I had clear sense of direction where I want to be in life. I already planned what I would do when I am 18, what I would do when I am 20, what I would do when I'm 21, what I would do by 23, and what I would do by 25. And surprisingly to a whole lot of people, agriculture is not one of those things I jumped into by accident. It has always been at the back of my mind that I'm going to retire in the farm. So where we are about 3,000 hectares of land, we acquire where we are planting rice, harvesting rice, value chain agriculture, take it back to our mill it and put it into the market. I acquired that property when my wife went to US to deliver my daughter, who is a medical doctor that is 35 years this year. When my wife was pregnant of her, so 35 years ago, I acquired this property. So it wasn't an accident. It was something I knew I'm going to do. But like, I've always planned for future. But if you have these dreams and plans, you have to plan and be able to find the time where it is the right time to get into it. But we didn't do groundbreaking until 2015. That was when we really moved into the field to take action in terms of starting to plant rice and clear the bush to begin to take the process. So it's something that excites me. And if you take it back again to the Bible, I'm a Christian, I'm not apologetic about it. I want to tell anybody who cares to know. God's number one motive of creating a man is to get a manager, somebody who can manage and deploy resources. And the first thing God gave a man was job, because he created the man and put him in the Garden of Eden and said, walk, address the garden, cultivate it, and make it, protect it, So this is before, a lot of people thought that work is after fall. No, there were no Satan, there was no sin, there was no fall. So God created a man to work. Actually, the reason of existence is to work. Your job is different from your work. Your work is what you are created to do, but your job is what you are paid for what you do. Okay. And many people try to be independent and wealthy by doing their job. No, it's your work that will make you, because in your work you find your gift. When you are called to do what God called you to do, then the rest of other things will come together. So that's really what it is all about. Today, we are involved in a value chain agriculture because I am a man who see future by the grace of God. I think, 20, 30 years. I turned 65 on December 24 this year. I was speaking to some group of people last week in Kampala in Uganda. I told them I'm still a young man, and I don't know what people talk about 65, because Bible said that the young men will see vision. If I'm still seeing vision, I consider myself a young man. So it's the only old people that dream. So they find out that time is run out on them to accomplish some of the things they have planned to do. So they had to transfer their dream to young people to make it a vision. But if I still can dream today, then I am in that state of a young man. So I'm still think I'm a young man because I can see tomorrow.
Thank you, Dr. Cosmas.
You're welcome.
All right, so you said you had acquired this property that your rice farm currently is on 35 years ago, over 35 years
That's
ago.
That's correct.
But groundbreaking started in 2015.
That's right.
Yeah, so I would want to ask, by any chance, did you consider the economy, the current state of the economy at that time? What made you decide in 2015 to start the groundbreaking and then looking at rice? Okay,
I can tell you clearly. It's a combination of many things. In 2011, our company acquired a Swiss company that has been in Nigeria for 65 years called Syngenta.
Okay.
The parent company is quoted in New York Stock Exchange. This company provides seeds and agri-material for farmers. It's basically agricultural company, but it's their head office is based in Geneva. It's a Swiss company, but they are located around the world, but have a subsidiary here in Nigeria. But when they decided to leave this country, we bought them over, and as a member of our company, dream and vision, when it is a true dream, it takes time, but it eventually materializes everything you dreamt about. Let me back up. I was 15 years old when I wrote 5 things I wanted to do by the time I turned 25. The first thing was to live in 3 bedrooms apartment of my own by 18. Remember, my father passed on when I was 4 years, so I really didn't have any parental upbringing except my mother, who became a single parent, but a strong woman that is truly devoted to her belief. She was a Catholic and raised 4 kids with strong will. At the age of 4, my mother looked me straight into my eyes and told me I can go places in life, to believe in God and to believe in myself. So I grew up with optimism in spite of not having any formal education, because the death of my father, and not long after he passed on, the Civil War broke out. It was a matter of survival. We ate anything that moves except human being. Everything that had leaves was a vegetable to escape kwashiorkor. Life was very unfair. So I learned industrial. I became industrious at very tender age of my life. You see some of the kids today, you can say their parents abused them. I used to be one of them, because I started hawking at the age of 7. My story is way out of this world, absolutely incredible, that you will not believe to be so. But because I have a godly mother who inspired me to believe in God, woke me up early in the morning, both myself and my siblings, to pray. The hunger of God developed in my life. I remember before I turned 8, entering a bush, praying sincerely that Mary will visit me as he visited 3 children at Fatima, because we were told this story that Mary appeared in Fatima. And I had that kind of faith that if she can go to Fatima, she can come to my village at Nnewi. I didn't see Mary, but that did not deter me. Part of this inquisitiveness in my life, by the time I turned 10, I became very inquisitive. I began to notice that people play religions. People talk things they don't do. But I grew up being a mass servant. I was an altar boy, trying to discover God. So it wasn't surprise that before I turned 15, I met the Lord Jesus Christ in his saving grace. I made a commitment to him and became a Christian. I really became born again before I turned 15. And that revolutionized my life about all that I wanted to do. So I was at the age of 15 when I said I want to live in 3 bedrooms apartment of my own by 18. I want to take a lady to altar as a wife by 20. And I want to have a son by 21, buy my own car at 23, and by 25 I want to be a millionaire. It's not in my head. I wrote it down, stuck it at the back, at the top of my bed. That will be the last thing I will see every night before I go to bed. And before I leave to go to work, that will be the last thing I will see. So when I meet people, they talk to me, we are conversing, you don't know the way my mind is working. Every discussion you are making, I take you and put you into that vision to see whether you fit in there, whether there's any way you can support to corroborate that thing that is running in my mind. If you can't fit in there, I consider you a distraction and I cut you off. So I was very purposeful driven. I worked for my uncle, who was my mother's junior brother, for 5.5 years, close to 6 years, with no salary. But in 1976, he gave me 200 naira, which is a little less than $400 US. Naira used to be very powerful. 1 naira used to be $1.88 to start my own business. That was not the norm. I felt he cheated me. But I have become a Christian by then. But in this apprenticeship, there's no contractual agreement, nothing agreed that this is the terms. You just got to be at your best behavior, which makes it a disciplined school, the most disciplined place you can ever be. I still recommend apprenticeship today. I still am a great advocate that you will learn unprecedented discipline. Any young man or woman that has successfully go through his tenure of apprenticeship, not one of them I have seen that are not successful. The best university anybody can go, because there are many lessons to learn, not just discipline. In apprenticeship, we are taught every rudiment that you're required to run a business in informal way. We do research, not like they did in university. We learn accountancy, we learn purchase, we learn administration, we learn marketing. So everything you are taught in the university, we learn it in informal way, but a great tools for really making life. So when my uncle gave me 200 naira, I was excited. I went with my senior brother, who told me to leave it and let us go back home. And I asked him, did he have anything to give me when we get back home? He says no. So I asked him, why did you ask me to leave this? But by the principle of the word of God that I've learned, do not neglect the beginning of a small thing. It wasn't the 200 naira that mattered to me, but what that 200 naira can be in the hand of God in my life. So my excitement is that I can do with my life from that day whatever I want to do. Yeah. It was not the 200 naira that matters. The excitement is that I'm not under anybody's tutorage anymore. And I can now go and start making decisions for myself. So I told my uncle it was unfair what he did, but he should listen to me. And I told him 5 years from that day, if he like, he can make a note. If he heard who I am, his head would be spinning. It shook him because he couldn't understand 15 years young man making that kind of statement. He turned around and said, well, I know you will succeed. I said, thank you. That's all I needed from you, your blessing. And I went back and teamed up with my senior brother. We formed a company called Maduka Brothers. But it wasn't 6 months. We started defiling an ideology. I follow principle, I learn principle, because I know principle is not personal. Principle is universal, it's law. Success is predictable, failure is predictable, and they are all inherent in the law. If you understand law and obey laws, you are protected and you know your future is guaranteed. I learned this before 15 and I followed it. I go to church, I take 1 naira to make offering. My senior brother told me, no, that's not acceptable to him. That he's a Catholic and that he put 10 kobo in their offering box. I said, Pius, you drank alcohol, you drank beer. How much is a bottle of beer? I drank Coca-Cola. The money you spend in your beer drinking compensate the money I put in altar. No. This brought misunderstanding between us and we parted way on that basis. And I pursue my dream, okay? Yeah. Because God's word called for total separation from every unbelief. So, true to the fact, by 18 years, I was living in 3 bedrooms of my own. I gave myself target. It's like a vision. If you have it, the book of Habakkuk say, write it down. It will tally, but it must surely come to pass. Yeah. By 20, I was not 20, I was 19 years plus. I was to turn 20 on December 24, 1978. I wedded my wife on September 23rd, 1978. I beat it by 4 months. I got married before 20. And I wanted a child, made love to my wife, what any young man would do for a baby to come. But God knew these 2 babies cannot be making baby. He shut the womb. Let them get their ass together. So, I pursued my other dream. By 22, I bought my first car. I wanted it by 23, but I beat it by 1 year. Pursued the other dream. I made my first $2 million United States dollar at 24. Wow. I bought this place that you see me now at when I was 28 years. This place, I was not 30. This place I'm sitting now. So that's when I'm telling you that by 15 I was thinking 50 and by 14 I was thinking 40. So the rest is history. One success goes like a wildfire and begat another. Despite the fact that I have believed I will settle in agriculture, that same dream that I have led me into acquiring a company that is agricultural based. So it was this company that we acquired in 2011, Syngenta, that did soil tests for this land that I have purchased way back, to tell me that this land can grow rice and rice will be the best thing there. I've always think on myself that at the later part of my life, if you also understand the vision of Coscharis, clearly was to build an institution that will be timeless in its relevancy and value. What was the mission? That Coscharis will provide excellent service and product to his customers, giving them the highest value of their money, and will contribute to societal development and will plow back resources into the organization and creating a sense of pride in its employees, and will grow strong and wax stronger into the future. This is our mission by which we want to be an institution that will be timeless in its relevancy and value. So we look at the society as a stakeholder, the environment that created us the opportunity. We took them into board in desiring how we are going to institutionalize ourselves. So the first thing that drove me to agriculture was not profit. The first thing was to create a social enterprising where I can touch the lives of people. Even I don't make money, but I'll be able to provide opportunity for means of livelihood for so many others, because I have other routes and source of money making. So it has always been in my plan that will be part of the value chain in our organizations and what we want to do. But coincidentally, I happened to come across World Bank prediction about our country, that by 2050, Nigeria will be the third largest population on earth. After China, India, Nigeria will be the next most populous nation on the earth. And by 2015, we're already spending over $3 billion United States dollar to import a wheat that grows on the ground, rice. God gave us 8 climatic conditions in this part of the world that we can do agriculture around here. And I asked myself, are there no entrepreneurs in this country? On what basis do we export jobs? And we're saying there's no employment. We spend $3 billion to import a wheat that grow on the mud. Okay? So I felt this is the right time to turn the corner. And it was surprising to a lot of people. This company had franchise for BMW, for Jaguar, for Land Rover, for Rolls-Royce, for Mini, for Renault, for Ford. What correlation has this to do with farming? But the reality is that people who go into farming today and get it right are going to be the future billionaires of Nigeria. Because the population keep on exploding and the enable land get shorter. Land doesn't grow because this population are taking part of the land to make construction for their building. So if you're able to find a land and develop agriculture and perfect it in a way it will be, you require to eat food to even get mad. Any madman that does not eat food, you can turn him very easily. You need energy. There are many business that getting you're finding many disruptions in different kind of business with technology, okay, in different industries. There's not going to be any disruption in feeding human being. You need food to be able to exist. So if we continue to grow the way we are growing, the World Bank had predicted, and we become 500 million people, what will be the food demand in that time? So, and then I begin to tell myself, this is a business, this is the right time to turn the tide. Of course, long time ago, I wanted to go and develop this land, but just like everything in Nigeria, when you buy a piece of property, you don't move in there to develop it immediately. Any day you come back, you become a captive market to the villagers. So I've gotten in that position before Willie Obiano came and became the governor of Anambra State. And when he invited the stakeholders of Anambra State and saying that one of his cardinal economic development is agriculture, one of the pillars, I listened to him. He shared his 7 pillars of economic revolution in Anambra State. At the end of the meeting, I told him, can I have a section with him? I said, I acquired this piece of property, basically in your local government, in your village, so to say. And I plan to develop it, and your people had always take me as a captive market each time I come back there. He said, be serious. I said, I'm serious. I have CFO on it. Emeko Merowa signed it. This was about 30-something years ago. He said, send me a copy. He called his commissioner of agriculture and said, please call a stakeholders meeting. I want to see the villagers. This guy owned this property. There's no reason they will be stopping me from succeeding. And he got the people to finally allow me to move into the piece of property. So he did the groundbreaking by, flagging off our agriculture in 2015. Soon after, he came in and he was quite pleased because he saw the success we've done. We did a revolution of agriculture, something you see anywhere in Europe. You need to go there to see it. Within our farm, the total road network is about 200 kilometers. You will take 3 hours. The governor of Central Bank has been there. The 2 ministers of information, agriculture have been there. With the governor, then Abubakar Bagudi that used to represent the president in agriculture. They've been there. After moving around for about 1.5 hours, they said they've seen enough. I told them, if you really want to tour our farm, please come with helicopter because you can't be able, because we plan the farm, you can be able to move, proceed by breaking the lands about 50 acres, 70 hectares, 100 hectares, creating roads, a major road and dividing roads, and then spend over 3 billion naira to did irrigation, because we started rainy season farm, which we found out is not too efficient because you are depending on the mother nature to be able to give you what you require. And with the conditions of air climatic changes, you cannot predict what you are having. So we did irrigation where we took water about 28 kilometers from the big river into the farm for major canal, and then have secondary canals to be able to give water to each of the field. You will be proud to visit there. So that's really, for me, a very fulfilling and satisfying project, because we have gotten into the real sector of the economy, not just buying and selling and doing everything, but adding value.
Yeah.
Today, we have 15,000, not 5,000 local farmers that is in our chain of group we call ag growers, who we partner with, giving them seed, training them, and they farm, and will mop up their proceed into our mill, because the mill has a capacity that the real challenge is to get enough paddy to feed the mill. Even from our farm, we cannot get enough paddy. But we now develop ag growers in Anambra State, part of Ebonyi State, and part of Delta State, and be able to mop up whatever they farm every year and feed our silos to be able to feed our mill. Whatever we mill on a daily basis move into the market. You can say we have a better product than anything anybody import, because this is fresh, coming from the farm to the mill directly and to the market. Again, one of the best cash generating business I have done in terms of, cash flow, is the best business. We haven't made money. That is true. I must also say that we haven't made money, but we will make money. There are still challenges we need to overcome, because this is not a business we will say we have our core competence, we are learning it. Whereas the Japanese are still getting 12 ton per hectare. We are still getting less than 4 ton per hectare. So if we can double our yield per hectare, it will be money spinning for Coscharis organization. but it's a very fulfilling outing for me. When I go there, I regularly go there. In this farm, I have about 3 beautiful lakes, that I will retire and fish on those lakes and stay with Mother Nature and really feel satisfied. We have dike that is about 5 meters around the place. We have had flood challenges 2 times. The farm was over flooded when the Cameroons left their water, and all our crops were damaged. Nigeria had no perfect agricultural insurance. So there are many challenges we're still battling over, but it worth the fulfillment that we have embarked on this project. I'm targeting 20% of this 3 billion naira to be able to take over Southeast food or rice demand. The good thing about this business is one business, we never do any type of advertisement. Minimal customer pay money, minimal 2 weeks in advance to take delivery. Some of them can stay as much as 3 weeks or 1 month. So everything we produce, meal on a daily basis, is trucked out. Our challenge, as I still say, is to have enough paddy, because still our meal is performing under 60% of its capacity, because there's not enough paddy to be able to produce. So this is a business we can also take as a captive market, but if it's well developed and other people come on board, we will save Nigerian government close to $6 billion that we can invest in other areas where we do not have core competence. I don't mind Nigeria spending $6 billion to import, spacecraft and things like that. But for goodness sake, God bless us with enable land. Why can't we cultivate them and be able to yield something on it? Agriculture is the oldest industry God gave to mankind. And I tell you that the best thing God gave to a man is land. And that is how God planned it. That's why we call piece of property real estate. The battle you see today in the Middle East is about real estate. God considered man an amateur God, a creator. So God never gave a man a table. He hid the table on the tree. God never gave a man a seat or chair. He hid the chair on the tree and put wisdom in his brain. He never gave a man shoe. He hid the shoe on the cow. He never put underwear on a man or a cloth. He hid the underwear on the wool. So you can be creative, be innovative, use the brain I give to you, use the land I gave you, and become a creator and be able to dominate the earth. So, and that's how we express our God nature of being a creator from what God has created. So, I do tell young people, I did tell my contemporary, even though I sell cars, stop buying flashy car. Your children cannot inherit your car. Put money on property. Bible says a righteous man liveth wealth for his children. Car is not a wealth. It deplete. You buy a car and put in a rented property. Own real estate, get property that your great-grandchildren will inherit. So, if I die today, I'm a righteous man because I left some word for my children. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go on a short break now and then we'll get back to you shortly.